And just getting breaking news in now over the wires. It came out earlier today that Senator Ted Cruz went to Trump Tower and had a meeting there with President-elect Trump, excuse me, in New York. And now the national political reporter Jennifer Jacobs for Bloomberg is reporting scoop, that's how she's put it. Trump is discussing Ted Cruz for AG, for Attorney General. Ooh. That's interesting. Not confirmed yet by Fox, but a possibility. So why don't we ask somebody who might be in a position to know? Fox News contributor, who's a man who supported Mr. Trump through thick and thin for 6 months at least, Governor Mike Huckabee. And you used to run for president with both of these guys. It was something you all did together, even though you were against one another. And you tell me whether you think there's any chance Donald Trump is considering Ted Cruz for AG.
It would be a big shock to me. I know we all ran together, but there was never like a big group hug that involved Ted Cruz, so I would be very, very surprised if that were the case. But look, this election has been full of surprises, so it's Donald Trump's decision to make, and I'm sure he'll make it when he wants to.
Do you think Ted Cruz would be a good choice for AG?
You know, he certainly served in an attorney general's office in Texas as the solicitor general, so he's got that experience. He's a brilliant constitutional lawyer. He has many of the gifts, and quite frankly, I think that there are certain members of the Republican Senate, you know, that would be happy to confirm him because he wouldn't be in the Senate, and they haven't been that happy with him being there.
That's a backhanded compliment, I guess, but anything is possible.
No, I'm just saying they'll give him a unanimous consent. Even the Democrats will vote for him.
He's not the most popular senator, that's clear, among his colleagues. All right, we'll continue to watch that, but let's talk about Hillary, because you know, now we had President-elect Trump promising that he was going to put her in jail. You've got several congressional investigations going on, or at least one looking into her and others who are interested in doing so. What happens to that now?
Well, I think for Hillary's sake, there needs to be an investigation, because if she's as innocent as she says, she needs to be exonerated. The only way that happens is with a full investigation. But there has been so many things about what she did. I mean, even this recent revelation about her maid had access to the server, typed out things on her computer. Look, I mean, the smell of this is so bad, it takes a hazmat team to just walk into the evidence. But if she's innocent, let's prove it. If, however, that she has done some things that violated national security, she lied to Congress.
But, you know, Comey already said no. He already said no. Didn't we already go through this?
No, we really didn't. You know, what he said was she didn't have any intent, but intent isn't part of the law. But am I suggesting that I would like to see her incarcerated? Absolutely not. I don't think anything would be served. But I do think
that would blow a little of the goodwill? That would blow some of the goodwill that Trump goes into office with? I mean, you know, he's trying to pull more people into the tent. I mean, the Republicans might love it, but those independents and Democrats wouldn't.
This isn't a political witch hunt, Megyn. Either there's a rule of law or not. And if Hillary Clinton doesn't have to play by the rules that the rest of us have to play by, that General Cartwright played, and that 20-year-old kid who took an iPhone photo of a sub, if those people are going to prison, then we've got an issue. That's what we've got to find out.
Great to see you, Gov.
Good to see you.
Joining us now with more, Democratic strategist and Clinton confidant Richard Socarides. He was also a senior White House advisor under President Bill Clinton. Richard,
Megyn,
you see his point.
Megyn, I want to say first, congratulations on the book. I'm excited to read it.
Thank you very much. Settle for more.
Settle for more. I want to settle for more. I want to be on the show more.
There's the attitude. That's what I'm talking about. Be better. Do better.
Excellent.
Settle for more.
I'm trying. I'm going to try.
All right, let's see what you got.
Interview.
Should she be prosecuted? What political capital must the Republicans expend if they choose to go that way?
Well, listen, I think the most important point here is that she's been cleared not once but twice by the FBI director, a Republican FBI director. So if you want to, if people want to prosecute her, I don't know what they want to prosecute her for. But I think that any attempt to continue this, to continue any kind of investigation is really an overreach and would backfire against the Republicans.
You know, the conventional wisdom is that if it hadn't been Loretta Lynch, but it had been a Republican attorney general, that there may have been a different result, even under Jim Comey, who's supposed to be independent. Do you think the Republicans might take the chance and find out whether that's true?
Well, I don't think so, because I think that the way this works is that the FBI director, you know, the FBI investigates and the FBI director makes a recommendation to the Attorney General.
But it's up to the AG, and if the AG is Ted Cruz, I bet you he might see it differently.
Yeah, but the AG, no matter who the AG is never really in a position to overrule the FBI director. Now, if the FBI director came into the AG and said, well, you know, on the one hand, on the other hand, maybe that would be a different thing. But Mr. Comey, a Republican who was certainly no fan of Hillary Clinton's, said that there's no set of circumstances under which a reasonable prosecutor would prosecute this. So I think we have to take him at his word.
But the prosecutor is the AG, not the FBI director. And so you never know if Ted Cruz gets in there and says, I think it looks like a pretty good case. Things could get interesting, although we're ahead of our skis on Ted Cruz. This is just one report, unconfirmed.
Yeah,
great to see you, Richard. So
so
far, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling like it was more. It was excellent. Great to see you tonight. So still ahead, reports of violent attacks spiking since the election. So we asked Trace Gallagher to investigate, and the results he found are next.
Welcome back. President-elect Donald Trump looking to hit the ground running on Capitol Hill, with the GOP also in control of both houses of Congress. GOP leaders say that they are eager to work with Mr. Trump, despite many of his positions and proposals falling outside the traditional Republican philosophy. Joining me right now, Republican Congressman from Utah, Jason Chaffetz. He is the chairman of the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee, and it is good to have you on the program, sir. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning. Good morning.
So let's talk about what you think you can get done. First off, congratulations. Now the Republicans in control, a sweep here. We've heard a lot about President-elect Trump's tax plan. Is this something you think you can achieve in 2017? And what else do you think will happen in 17?
Yeah, we better. Tax reform, the oppressive Obamacare has to be dealt with immediately. There are trade issues. There's certainly issues on the border. President Trump's agenda is full, and so is the House of Representatives, because there's also a lot of regulations that need to be rolled back, and there's a lot of executive orders that President Trump is going to have to deal with in the first few days that he's in office. But you know, with the Republicans having the House, the Senate, and the presidency, I think that we're more optimistic than ever.
Are you saying that you would vote yes to the 15% corporate tax rate and the lowering of taxes that Donald Trump has proposed?
Yes, and I think it will be even more complex and will deal with other issues as well. But lowering the corporate income tax, the highest corporate income tax in the world, dealing with the repatriation of literally billions of dollars that's parked overseas will do wonders for our economy. And I know that President-elect Trump understands this.
All right. Well, he's talking about doubling the growth rate. We're at about 2% economic growth right now. Yeah. He thinks he could take it to 4% in a short period of time. You agree with that?
Yeah, that should be the laudable goal that we can get to, and there are some very systemic things that we can do. Corporate income tax rate and the repatriation is literally, I would love to know the analysis of how many billions of dollars are parked overseas that would come back and be injected into this economy.
Yeah, Congressman, let me ask you about some of the things that perhaps the two do not agree on, and we know that congressional Republicans have generally been very pro-free trade. You've been the driving force behind trying to get President Obama's Trans-Pacific Partnership passed, for one thing. Where is the agreement on free trade with Donald Trump? And then, of course, there's the issue of immigration and deportation, another issue on which the GOP base is largely with Trump, but there are GOP leaders and many Republicans in Congress that simply are not.
Well, for me personally, I've been actually opposed to TPP. I do believe in free trade, and I think we're going to need to have one-on-one agreements between the United States and, say, New Zealand, and the United States and individual countries. And I think that's where President-elect Trump is coming from as well, that let's deal with these rather than turning over our sovereignty and our direction to some anonymous board that really nobody knows who it is. Let's just deal with this one-on-one and deal with it in each country. I think that's the better, smarter way to go, and something I'd be wholly supportive of.
When is $1 trillion on a rebuilding program, this is his infrastructure plan, too much? People are worried that, in fact, he's actually going to be doubling Clinton's plan to spend $275 billion on infrastructure over 5 years. Is this too much spending?
Well, it has to be done in context of all the others. We spend about $1,067 billion in discretionary spending. We spend in the neighborhood of $600 billion on our military, which does need refurbishing. And so we're going to have to find the right combination, but make some tough choices. Right. And we're going to have to take some from other places and put it into the infrastructure. The $787 billion that Obama put into the rebuilding of America, less than 5% of that went to roads, bridges, and infrastructure. So it was really, he grew government, the President Obama did, as opposed to invest in the infrastructure, which we do need to do. Congressman,
let me switch gears, ask you about the Hillary Clinton investigation. Where does that stand right now? Are you expecting President Obama to give her a pardon? And what will you be doing in terms of continuing the investigation into the pay-for-play investigation at the Clinton Foundation?
Well, it's really up to President Obama as to whether or not he wants to pardon Hillary Clinton, but it's bigger and broader than Hillary Clinton. Remember, this is the largest breach of security perhaps in the history of the State Department. There are dozens of people in that inner circle that we are most interested in looking at. We had perjury issues that we still want the Department of Justice to look at. You have allegations of a quid pro quo. We don't know where they're at in terms of their investigation into the Clinton Foundation. And the FBI director, we still have some questions because his latest letter narrowed the scope of their investigation to the time that she was Secretary of State. But we're also interested in what happened before and what happened after that. It's this huge, massive mess that has to be cleaned up. So we would be remiss if we just dismissed it and moved on. We have a lot of things that we have to fix so it never ever happens again.
So you're saying that investigation continues?
Oh, absolutely. I'd be derelict in my duty if I just let it go and said, well, there's an election.
Yeah.
But there's still people that work at the State Department that were key to this problem. You look at the Undersecretary for Management, Patrick Kennedy. There are lots of these people that we are still in the infrastructure.
Congressman, good to have you on the program this morning. Thank you. We will see you soon, sir.
Thanks,
we'll be watching the developments.